Do the 034 tunes deal with throttle response issues? Absolutely. We remap the throttle response and functionality. If we find any issues, we correct them. But generally, we believe that we improve the throttle response and drivability and give the driver more resolution in the throttle pedal. A lot of tunes and even the factory at times, you have 100% range from 0 to 100% of throttle, but a lot of times the throttle's open by halfway. And so kind of that last half doesn't do much. That may make the driver feel like, oh, I just pushed the throttle a little bit and I got a lot of acceleration, which is the whole sprint booster APR came out with one too, which is just making the throttle body open faster. It would be kind of like making your stereo, instead of having your knob go from 0 to 10, your knob now is still goes to 10, but it's at 100% volume by the time you get to the 5.
Yeah. And then everything else past that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so you basically lose half of your resolution. The throttle pedal is one of the, besides the throttle pedal, the brake pedal, and the steering wheel, that's pretty much like how you control the car. And so why would you want to reduce the resolution, reduce the control that you have over applying throttle? Why would you want to have a smaller range to work with? If you have a full range, why would you want to reduce that? So we are very intentional about bringing that back. Now, that means you're going to have to use when you want to accelerate quickly, it means you're going to have to push your foot down faster and harder.
Sacrifice you probably.
Which is like how the pedal actually is supposed to work. The other extreme would be just like having a throttle button. Your foot pushes a button and it goes to 100%. That's 0. 100%.
Like half the Uber drivers I've ridden with, I swear they just install a button.
You know what this is really like? I don't know if any of you guys are into music but it's called the compression wars, where starting in kind of the 70s and 80s, music producers just made music louder and louder and louder. And so pretty much modern music is the dynamic range, which is the difference between the loudest and quietest note in a passage, is compressed. And so you'd listen to a modern pop song, anything, I know radio stations don't really exist anymore, but on Spotify or whatever. Now go compare that to like an orchestra recording in like 50s or 60s, or even classic rock, Led Zeppelin and that kind of stuff.
I was thinking like Queen has a bunch of stuff.
Queen,
really
yeah.
dynamic.
There is, if you had kind of a bouncing light meter of, quiet and loud, you'd see that thing moving up and down throughout the song. Modern songs, it just kind of sits there, and this is what's happened with throttle pedals too. It's the same thing. It just hit me. That's the manufacturers, but especially the tuners, are like, let's compress the range of throttle response. Let's just make you get to 100% that much faster, which is exactly what the compression in music is doing. So there is a concerted effort in music recording to restore dynamic range, and I guess that's us.
For the tuning world, yeah.
In the tuning.
Yeah, some of these cars are just ridiculous. Like the BMW, you can get in, just hold your foot still and hit the sport button on and off, and the car just like accelerates and stops accelerating. Like, it just completely deletes
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends had an E46 M3 when they first came out. And those have the ITBs, and when you go into sport mode, the car is undrivable. It's just like, like it's just on or off, and then your foot starts bouncing on the pedal. It's stupid. So maybe BMW has contributed to this.
They certainly have contributed to it.